It is. Let me blow this all the way up because somebody said something about me not blowing it up all the way. I want to read this. Like, she need counseling for anger management or something, because this right here is beyond. Lexie Hall. What the hell? Let's get back to this article, man. So these are some. Article goes on to say, while some believe it to need to be checked out by a psychiatrist, I told y'all, man, she needs some type of counseling or something. She's a very that made headlines, man. And give her AT a call. Check.
What if I was to tell you Alyssa Thomas had another incident against the Indiana Fever on another basketball player in another basketball game? That's the setup, and I get the instinct to lead with shock value. But let's just be straight about what actually happened before we react to it, because this genre lives and dies on how much it inflates a real story before you even see the footage.
Kathy Engelberg take accountability for the multiple attacks on Caitlin Clark, the congressmen and women who, led by U.S. Representative August Plumfunger of Texas, sent the letter to the commissioner, which we all know that made headlines, man. And yeah, man, for her to be doing.
Lexie Hull took an elbow to the face from Alyssa Thomas, started bleeding from the nose, and had to leave the floor to get it looked at. That part is completely real and confirmed. It happened Thursday night in the third quarter of the Fever Mercury rematch. Where I'll push back is on immediately labeling Thomas a serial abuser before we even look at what kind of play this actually was. Because that's a very different conversation than the fist to the throat incident with Clark 2 weeks earlier.
The major world news picked it up. What if I was to tell you Alyssa Thomas had another assault against the Indiana Fever on another basketball player in another basketball game? You will probably say, John, you lying. That's clickbait. That did not happen. I'm here to tell you it very much did happen. And the Pacific player that was hit in the nose and started bleeding in the nose.
The Daily Mail headline calls Thomas the WNBA star who punched Caitlin Clark in the throat, now caught in fresh violence controversy with a different Fever player. And look, headlines are built to make you click, but stacking these two incidents together in one sentence makes it sound like a pattern of the exact same behavior, when the actual details of what happened this time are meaningfully different.
Look like she might have pointed at Lexie Hall. What the hell? Let's get back to this article, man. So these are some of the photos here of the incident. So as you guys can see here, she's elbowing Lexie Hall in the face. This is Lexie Hall here. And she laughed. I knew she laughed. She's laughing about assaulting Lexie Hall.
The article notes this all comes less than 2 weeks after an incident that sparked a nationwide storm, accusations of racial profiling, and involvement from politicians. And that's not an exaggeration. That part is fully real. Republican members of Congress genuinely did get involved in this story, which tells you how far this has traveled beyond basketball at this point.
Did she laugh? She pointed at her. Looked like she might have pointed at Lexie Hall. What the hell? Let's get back to this article, man. So these are some of the photos here of the incident. So as you guys can see here, she's elbowing Lexie Hall in the face. This is Lexie Hall here. And she laughed. I knew she laughed. She's laughing about assaulting Lexie Hall.
The host calls out the trio Fever fans go over and beyond for Lexie Hull, Caitlin Clark, and Sophie Cunningham. And honestly, that's an accurate read of this fan base right now. These three have become the emotional core of how people watch this team, which is exactly why any hit on any one of them gets amplified into a bigger story than it might be for another roster.
Need to be counseled. Like, she need counseling for anger management or something, because this right here is beyond me. Now, the article goes on to say less than 2 weeks on from the unsavory incident, which sparked a nationwide storm accusation of racial profiling and involvement from politicians. The rivalry continued on Thursday night when the Fever once again took on the Mercury. Caitlin Clark was not.
Now here's the actual replay. Hull moves in as a defender, Thomas goes up into her shooting motion, and the elbow catches Hull square in the face. Watch it close. That's a bang-bang basketball play, not a targeted strike. It's a legitimately hard, ugly-looking collision, but the shape of the contact is completely different from a closed fist going to someone's throat.
She pointed at her. Looked like she might have pointed at Lexie Hall. What the hell? Let's get back to this article, man. So these are some of the photos here of the incident. So as you guys can see here, she's elbowing.
She laughed. I knew she laughed. This is the moment that's actually fueling the outrage more than the elbow itself. And it's real. It's on camera. Thomas is smiling at the free throw line, while Hull is getting looked at on the bench. That's a legitimate optics problem regardless of how the contact itself gets officiated, because a laugh right after bloodying someone's face is going to read badly no matter what the replay shows.
WNBA star who punched Caitlin Clark in the throat caught in fresh violence. Controversy with the different Indiana Fever player. The WNBA player who was banned for punching Caitlin Clark in the throat has been slammed for yet more violence in her latest game against the Indiana Fever. The Phoenix Mercury star Alyssa Thomas served a 1-game suspension without pay for a non.
The article splits the reaction down the middle. Some believe it to be a simple basketball play. Others slam Thomas for yet more violence. And that's actually the most honest sentence in this whole piece. Two things can be true here. The contact itself can be a legal basketball play, and the laugh afterward can still be a bad look that fans are completely justified in being annoyed about.
Has been slammed for yet more violence in her latest game against the Indiana Fever. The Phoenix Mercury star Alyssa Thomas served a 1-game suspension without pay for a non-basketball act after a post-game review determined that she had recklessly made contact with Caitlin Clark's throat with her closed fist. Now, we all remember when that happened. I was in the stands during that game. It was a very, very horrendous, horrific scene to watch. And what if I was to tell you she has another?
Now, some of these fan comments go further than I'm willing to go with you, calling for Thomas to be checked out by a psychiatrist or diagnosing her as needing counseling. I'm not a doctor. None of these commenters are either. An armchair diagnosing a real person based on a few seconds of video isn't fair analysis, it's just pile-on. You can criticize the laugh and the pattern of physical incidents without pretending you know what's going on in somebody's head.
Some of these comments, one person said Lexie should be used to it. What is this? Yeah, assaults. These are all assaults. Oh, come on now. Come on now. Better give her AT a call and check out her mental health after this one. Yeah, bro. Telling y'all, she needs some type of counseling. But definitely let me know what y'all thoughts is.
Here's the part that actually matters basketball-wise. Officials reviewed this play in real time, unlike the Clark incident, and ruled it a legal basketball play, not a flagrant foul. The Fever didn't even complain about the call. And in the end, Indiana got the last laugh anyway, closing it out 92-89 on a pair of Sophie Cunningham free throws down the stretch.
She pointed at her. Looked like she might have pointed at Lexie Hall. What the hell? Let's get back to this article, man. So these are some of the photos here of the incident. So as you guys can see here, she's elbowing.
This part is completely real, and it's a bigger deal than most people realize. 11 Republican members of Congress, led by Texas Representative August Pfluger, sent a formal letter to WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert demanding accountability for what they called multiple attacks on Clark and floating possible Department of Justice and EOC involvement. The Fever's own organization said publicly they had zero contact with anyone in that congressional group before it went public. This genuinely escalated to Washington without the team's involvement.
John Root was at the game yesterday, and John had insinuated that one fan had some racial ideology when it came to him working the game. And yeah, man, I don't know. Let's read some of these comments. One person said Lexie should be used to it. What is this? Yeah, assaults. These are all assaults. Oh, come on now. Come on now.
Scroll the comments on any of these videos and you'll find people saying things like, Lexie should be used to it. And that's honestly the part that should bother you more than anything else in this story. Normalizing repeated physical contact against any player, on any team, isn't fandom. It's just numbness to a pattern that deserves real scrutiny instead of shrugging it off as business as usual.
Laughing about assaulting Lexie Hall. Now, this was the incident with her and Caitlin Clark a few weeks ago. Now, this happened on June the 24th. Now, this was Lexie Hall last night. You tell me if anything is wrong with Alyssa Thomas. Tell me. You tell me, and you be the judge. The article goes on to say, while some believe it to be a simple basketball play, others slam Thomas for yet